Why don't you clap?
Welcome to the Rowdy.com Big 3 video. We're talking Martinsville.
We are talking Martinsville. The Goody's Fast Relief 500, NASCAR's shortest track, a very, very flat track. And I don't know, Cutler, if you're going to ask us any questions, but clearly the corners here are the big deal.
They are a big deal.
Are you going to ask us any questions?
Hey, Bass, what's a big deal at Martinsville?
Hey, you know what I think? If you look at this track, you look down it from above, it looks like a big old paperclip, right?
It certainly does.
That's because the straightaways are pretty long and pretty close together. That makes the corners very, very tight. They're also very flat. So getting your car to turn there, to turn in the center there, is really a tough deal because there's no banking to help you. Last week at Bristol, you had all this banking to help you turn the race car. You don't have that at Martinsville, Buck. That's going to be a real challenge, getting the car through the center.
The key, or one of the keys, is forward bite. Getting that car to grip as you get through the corner and you're getting ready to head on the straightaways. That's where you make your speed. The guy, Jimmie Johnson, seems to get a lot of forward bite, and he beats everybody out of the corner.
Yeah, and the thing is, he gets that forward bite without giving up the center.
All right, so what is key number 2? If key number 1 is getting through the center before everybody else, what's key number 2?
You know, I got to say track position is key number 2 here, Buck, because this is a track that's tough to pass on. You know, now at Bristol, we have that progressive banking, a second groove. You can kind of get through there a little better than you could, but Martinsville is a track I still think you kind of need to have the bottom, for the most part, to pass. And if you don't have the bottom, you got to figure out a way to get the bottom, stick your nose in there and get the bottom. So I think track position just makes your day so much easier.
I want to see guys towards the end of this, the last caution we have, take 2 tires and see if they can make it work. And also
New tire package here,
yeah, the bump and run. You know, it's a great place to do the bump and run. Great
a little
place.
payback. If you had some payback to administer to someone,
I mean,
you're not going but 35, 40 miles an hour in the center of the corner
If
there.
you're at Bristol and someone ticked you off, oh my God, Martinsville being the next week, it's time, baby. It's
it is time. Absolutely.
All right, well, we talked about Denny Hamlin on yesterday's video vis-a-vis Martinsville. Obviously, Jimmie Johnson is the other guy to talk about. But besides those two, each of you pick one driver to look at for this weekend.
I'm going to go ahead, and I know he doesn't perform lights out here, but the Penske organization has done so well lately. The Dodges are on fire. I'm going to say that Kurt Busch is wrong. He's not going to have a 10th place car here. He might actually get a top 5 or maybe even compete for a win.
You know, what's interesting is he's the last guy to drive a Ford to victory at Martinsville, but Rusty Wallace more recently drove the number 2 Penske Dodge to victory at
That was
Martinsville.
Rusty's last win in the Cup Series. That was the day when Jeff Gordon had the concrete jump up and hit him, bite him, if you will.
Yeah.
Really, I think if you look at this track, you've got to look at Denny and Jimmie, obviously. And for Denny, this is critical. This is critical.
Mission critical.
It really is. I mean, this race and Phoenix, he absolutely needs to card a couple of top 5s here. I really believe that. Now, but the other guys, I think, the obvious guys to me are Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart. You know, Jeff Gordon was Mr. Martinsville before Jimmie got on his role here. And Jeff Gordon, I think he started on the pole in this race, or maybe the last race here last year.
Snake bit, though.
He's very, very good at Martinsville. So I like Jeff Gordon, and Tony Stewart likewise. He's won here. Good on these tough tracks with the tight corners. So I like Jeff and Tony.
He said pick one guy.
And, well, let me say this. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a vastly improved paint scheme this weekend. It might do him well.
You know, Junior's finished in the top 10 here in half of his starts.
He's good.
He's pretty good here. Had a stretch once of, I think, 7 or 8 straight top 10s at Martinsville, and it's looked pretty decent here lately. So if he doesn't get too mad on the radio, and if he can get a good starting position, I think that really helps these guys if they can start up towards the front.
And
Junior could be good.
And speaking of Junior, before we sign off for today, we should throw out one last thank you to the good folks at AMP.
That was awesome.
He was.
For this weekend's...
We ended up giving away 6 tickets, right?
To Martinsville,
We did.
Thanks to AMP, thanks to Dale Jr., and those folks, I think we contacted them all yesterday. They're going to have a blast. It's a great racetrack. It's just a great old-school place to see a race.
Best hot dog in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty good hot dog.
Except for maybe Chicago.
The Chicago style's good, too. But as far as a racing food, this is a classic. Martinsville. So thank you, AMP Energy Drink. Thank you, Dale Jr., AmpUpThe88.com. TJ Majors joined us earlier this week on the podcast. So they put all that stuff together really quick. They must have been drinking their AMP.
Yes, they did. And on that note,
thank you.
We're going to hit the road. Come to Rowdy.com and check us out.
Absolutely. For Buck, I'm Bass. We'll see you next time.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.